Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Gemini, May 7, 2022. Today's Sun-Neptune alignment has a way of illuminating your loftier goals. It favors fantasy and creativity, but not necessarily attention to detail. If you crave some inspiration now, you might consider this a time for incorporating alternative or creative methods or elements into what you do. Spiritual longing or aspects of your goals or career that fail to satisfy could magnify, since this transit spotlights areas where we may be ignoring our needs for a sense of a higher purpose, spirituality, and imagination. If so, then it's time to make a new plan to address these needs and desires. The moon moves into your communications sector later today, and you crave more mental engagement. You are undoubtedly one of those intuitive women who perceive the intimate feelings of everyone in the grain of an atmosphere or the weight of silence. The whole day could unfold like this, in a fluffy bubble from which you perceive an intimate reflection of the outside world. You will likely be reborn from this chrysalis into a butterfly. The period is one of profound change. Communications with family members and others should be clear, honest, and caring. While your physical passion may be stirring below the surface today, it's still very much on the table, and you're probably feeling particularly romantic. Maybe you want to read edgy novels or see a romantic movie. This is the night to spend with that special person in your life. Make sure you look your best and have fun. Single, you leave no one indifferent. You are solar, and you attract all eyes on your way. This may be an opportunity to approach the person who lives opposite, or to get down to business with the handsome brunette you just met. As a couple, it's total osmosis. The planets are all aligned for you. Little attention, loving glances. Your dear and tender give of herself headlong to make you happy. Savor all this surge of love without asking yourself any questions. Being mindful of your genuine needs is essential to the foundation of your love life. And with the moon making its monthly debut in Aquarius via your stability-seeking second house of comfort, finances, and value systems, there is a greater emphasis on your emotional stability. The challenge, however, could potentially stem from the moon's direct opposition to powerhouse Pluto via your intimate 8th house of mergers, shared resources, and soulmate connections, as you are likely to feel torn between committing to a significant other's desires versus staying true to your own. Don't agree to anything until you're 100% sure. Dream a little dream. There is an abundance of hope for where your career path could lead as the Sun conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. The watery conjunctions exude idealism, encouraging you to think about your professional journey with a sense of optimism. You may feel called to pursue a more intuitive path during this transit. Piscean energy may lead you to explore your creativity, holistic purpose, and compassion from a professional perspective. Be hopeful, but have a realistic take on your professionalism, especially since Neptune can cast a fog over your eyes. Before leaving your income sector today, the moon will clash with Pluto in your financial sector, something that will benefit both sides of the financial fence. The moon has spent the last few days at a friendly aspect to forces on the job and career fronts, something that will easily turn any financial tension this might create into motivation on both sides of the financial fence. Relations and friends are having a hard time with you, and vice versa. Put an end to this mutual feeling of frustration, be honest with yourself, and consider compromising on some points. Talking to people to clear things up is also a big help. Regard today's negative atmosphere as an opportunity to resolve conflicts permanently. Your new honey is in need of extra smooches right now. Use your fresh little self to supply a generous amount. Whatever you try to achieve is criticized and unlikely to be accepted in a very favorable way, especially if you feel undue pressure to perform any kind of activity. It is far better to delay important activities or decisions until you feel positive about the outcome. Use your sense of humor to relieve any tension. Remember, it's not the situation that matters, it's how you handle it. Continue to breathe consciously, focusing on your breath when you exercise and when you go to sleep as a way of heightening awareness. What you eat is important, but how you put food into your mouth is more important today. First, make sure the food is appetizing to your body and mind. Next, arrange the food in a pleasing manner before beginning to eat. Center yourself. Eat slowly and enjoy. Putting your mind to the task will be easy for you on this day. This vibration brings an atmosphere of orderliness to even the most chaotic of environments. Being able to concentrate, organize, and do the work at hand will see you managing most any task that you have ahead of you. Make yourself a list of everything you want to accomplish, and let this vibration give you the extra boost to get things done. Our eyes in the sky. It isn't a time in which we conform to the ideals and status quo of society. To be honest, it's the opposite of that. At the forefront of our hearts and minds for the next 30 days will be humanitarian acts of kindness, generosity, and the notion of unconditional caring for humankind. This is also a time of revolution and technological advances. We can expect some news of pending changes that could transform our world for the better and help us evolve as human beings. Radical beliefs could shift your consciousness to better align with what is happening in the world and your personal life, as well as your current ideals and views, not those you believed in the past. The nagging feeling that we have misjudged someone or something dampens our confidence, and much as we try to pinpoint rationale that would give our conclusion credence, the more it eludes us. Our imagination can run wild now, which is not such a bad thing if we funnel our creative energy into a spiritual practice or a meditative or artistic exercise. Once this transit passes, we might even surprise ourselves with the inspired works we've produced during a time when we felt so out of sorts. In the evening, the sun exits grounded, pragmatic, and success-oriented Capricorn for the terrain of cosmic innovator. At this time, we build on the legacies we established during Capricorn season, but with experimentation and collaboration in mind. This is a season for outreach, networking, and showing off our originality. Letting our inner nonconformist out to play finds us meeting those with similarly eccentric interests, pastimes, and social views. Over the next month, we are less concerned with tradition or fitting into the crowd. We know that deviating from convention and owning our unique point of view is how we can make progress, not only for our own sake, but for the good of our communities. If placed in a leadership position, we will prioritize tenets like freedom of expression, ingenuity, and defying limitation over taking the safe approach. After sunup, the moon enters Cancer, ending its void of course which began early last night. At this time, we wish to offer care to others as an extension of our own subconscious needs for nurturance. Without support in return, we can become moody and ill-tempered. It is a good time to ask ourselves what we need from our loved ones, but since our emotions are at the mercy of the tides, we also want to avoid guilt-tripping or gaslighting others as a reaction to feeling denied.